why would it go through all this? What's the whole point? Well, this is how the receiver actually validates that this is a real certificate, nobody just made it up, and that it can actually be trusted. So when I send my digital certificate over to you, you're not going to just trust that it came from me, and you're not going to trust me. You're also not going to just trust this digital certificate without making sure that it has not been modified and you actually trust who created it. So your system is going to validate the signature. And remember, we've actually walked through this, but we'll do it again. So I send you my digital certificate. You take that digital certificate and you run it through the same hashing algorithm. Now you know what hashing algorithm to use because it's in the certificate. It says which algorithm to use. So you take my digital certificate, you run it through the hashing algorithm, you come up with your own message digest value. Now remember that this certificate is signed, and it's signed by a certificate authority. Now if your system trusts the certificate authority, it's actually in a list in your computer. The CA, the certificate authority, is in a list of trusted CAs, and you have its public key. If you trust the CA, you already have the public key. So you're going to validate the actual signature on the digital certificate by taking that public key of the CA and decrypting the digital signature, extracting the message digest value, and then comparing that to the message digest value you created individually. If they match, then you know that the certificate has not been modified, but you also know, because you used that CA's public key and you were able to decrypt the signature, you know that it actually came from the CA that you trust. And that's really what this whole thing is about, is that you trust, your system trusts the CA, and you're going to validate that this digital certificate actually came from the entity you trust. And how do you validate that? You have its public key if you already trust the CA, and you're going to decrypt, which means verify, the digital signature. If you could decrypt that digital signature and pull out the MD value, that proves that it was the CA's private key that was used to encrypt it. And it also looks at the integrity. How do you know the integrity of the message digest? I'm sorry, I just gave it away. How do you know the integrity of the digital certificate is intact? How do you know that nobody messed with it? Because you create your own message digest value and you compare it to the message digest value that came along with the certificate. So this process, this digital certificate, when I send it over to you, the CA is vouching for me. You know it came from the CA because because it's digitally signed. And you know that the certificate has not been modified because you compare the two MD values.